The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you... Sorry. You're shocked with that one. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're on the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are...
Culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do, all right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and say it will be chest that Columbus lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, with a P this week. Tony P, where the P this week stands for.
Well, which one you want? You want a prescription? You want procedure? You want pharmaceutical? You want pressure? Anything. I'll tell you that story just now.
Yeah, well, I actually want to know because if we can find out. Anyway, first let's introduce ourselves. This is The Living Room with yours truly, Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, and I sit here alongside my bro with no fro, a lot of flow, always on the know, always on the go and in the know.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the global stage.
Before I go any further, I want to say belated birthday greetings to mommy. Right? Yesterday was her birthday.
Happy belated birthday, moms.
Had no pill out, just letting you know.
No, that's what the other P word was.
All right. It is the second week of January, because for a lot of us, the month started last week, Monday, because we couldn't process for it to start in the middle of a week. And
right.
January has been throwing up some really interesting curveballs, for want of better words. A lot of interesting memes have come out thus far already, because Trinidad, one of the new watchwords is meme.
That's what's going on.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Because I don't know if you ever saw it on social media, Ricardo. There's a meme of the month calendar. Right. So I see people have put out January and put it back in already, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Nope, I don't.
Oh, okay. Cool.
No, I don't. Totally clueless.
All right, well, that's good. Stay clueless on that one. But really and truly, as we are in a new year and a new month especially, we continue to ask persons to do better and work on constant improvement. If you travel into work every day, one of the main things is being safe on the roads, because we are noticing the high amount of vehicular accidents and incidents that we are seeing on the nation's roads. If you are out there exercising, make sure and do it at a safe and reasonable time as well. And we know the saying that crime knows no time, but try and don't do it 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, right? We also ask that if you are able to, try and do it in groups, right? Or at least pairs.
Yeah.
How does it work? A pair as a group?
A small group. A pair is a distinct type of group. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a trio or duo
Or quartet.
quattro or quintet or
A quattro or quartet?
I don't think it's a quartet.
God, no one
I say trio and then quattro.
Yeah.
A quattro is a musical instrument. Is it not a? You know what? I need coffee here, and you asking me too hard a question, especially considering that I'm on medication on time.
All right, so now that you brought that up, and glad you eased it into the conversation while we were doing the intro. Yeah, of course. I was shocked. I was appalled. I was flabbergasted. I was blown away, blown away by your finger. What took place there, Ricardo?
Yeah, and in my infinite wisdom, I decided to start the year off by squeezing my finger in a car door. Okay, car door kind of undersells it. It was a SUV door, so it was a little heavier than a car door. No?
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. My first instinct, my first thought was, nah man, car door, you're not serious. The second thought was, hey, thank God, because I could have broken my finger. I could have fractured it. I could have dislocated it. So I immediately approached that situation from a position of gratitude.
Right.
And so I sit somewhat terrible night of sleep that night, lands in pain. Monitor it over the next couple of days, and then when I realized I ain't like how it looking, I went to the doctor. So big up genial family doctor in Philippines, real vibes, good treatment. And plain talk bad manners, the pressure, the capillaries were injured, so blood was flowing into the finger and pressure was starting to build. So we had to release the pressure. But that aside, antibiotics and observation, but it should be good to go, man.
Okay. So when we make the pan curl, you could play a note or two.
Well, I hope so, because I couldn't play before.
And that's the thing, we have to thank God for small mercies, first and foremost, because I don't know how much of us accept it, but sometimes the situation which we are so distressed over could have been 15 to 20 times worse.
Okay.
And we have to thank God for small mercies. For those of you listening to the program for the first time, no, we are not a religious program in any way, form, or fashion. But both Ricardo and myself are two praying men. So we always tend to find our way to ease God into the conversation.
I run you saying it real nice. I gain God forward right through.
Right?
Right through.
Right.
Because that's the only thing that's keeping me from dealing with some of these people in particular ways out here.
And I think I'm glad you said that and not me, because people tend to say that I am always the find a peaceful solution type of person. I am always the person that tries to say, let's figure out a way to solve this, right? But sometimes, honestly, sometimes you need to be able to dive deep into a situation. Sometimes you need to address the conflict arising out of an issue. And it's something that a lot of us need to learn to do better, myself included. Some of us need to learn to do, period. And also, some of us need to learn to do respectfully.
Okay, I'll take that.
And I think, I don't know if Ricardo had anything planned or that he wanted to discuss inside today's show. But you see that last point I raised there about being able to address conflict respectfully is something that I just want to spend a couple minutes on today. Because I have to try to get it twist the Christmas and the Carnival into one with a statement here.
Why Christmas wraps up on the 6th of January, Aaron?
Actually, if you are practicing Catholic, Christmas wraps up with the feast of the baptism of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
So Christmas still going on?
It finished yesterday.
Oh, well, there you go. You know what? It's still going as you would.
Right? Just the season where a lot of us tend to disagree on the role or the importance of what certain cultural aspects are and what they do. Right? So a lot of us tend to get in the comments and lay slander on institutions, on people, particularly our artists, the panel arrangers, and the organizers of the events and stuff like that. But a lot of persons don't understand how much work goes into putting forward a song, a panel arrangement, or putting forward something as mammoth as a panorama event or Calypso Fiesta or the March Gras or something like that. And if you don't understand Murphy's Law, it is going to Murphy.
Right.
Murphy's Law will Murphy. So you could plan and plan and plan, but something could go wrong. A battery could die. Somebody could call in sick, whatever the case may be. And I think we need to understand that we could disagree or we could dislike, but we need to start to do it respectfully.
Right.
I may not like the fact that Ricardo is wearing a shirt with, it looks like auto company logos on it.
Yeah, I got some uncle in Texas, big up Larry.
Right, but that doesn't mean that I need to bad talk Ricardo and then bring up things about 15 years ago when Ricardo denied my Facebook friend request, and then all of a sudden send one back to me like I didn't send one 20 minutes before that.
Well, you're using an old picture, right? When you're using these old pictures, I thought you were trying to catfish people, right? I thought it was a fake account because the picture that you had in your profile, you didn't look nothing like that then.
What I had here?
I'm not falling for them tricks.
Right here?
With your little small pro with your side greedy and looking like Dr. Dre and Friday. No, you wasn't catching me in a car wash. You ain't catching me in the wash. You ain't catching me in that. I've seen the usual commentary start. And yes, we in our pecan culture, and I get it. Right? You put yourself out there in the public domain, you're going to subject yourself to criticism. A lot of it is harsh. A lot of it is really harsh and discouraging. And a lot of it comes from people who've never tried to do anything. They've never gotten into the arena itself.
There are people
who are putting themselves out there and people who are doing things. Does that allow them criticism? Who knows? That remains to be debated. But what I am saying is that let's put it this way. People out here getting Bill and Jones on people. Right? Bashing a fet, bashing an artist, bashing a song. People getting theirs off for the bashing. Some of it is admittedly humorous, but you had to look at the price you're paying for that quick laugh now. And then you want to know why the creativity not there, because people are afraid to take chances. You want to know why it have no versatility and no varieties, because people trying to be as safe as possible with the offerings.
I could add to that one.
I hope so. We probably have 50 minutes to talk still.
About 45. You want to know why the certain things are following the definition of insanity, and when I say that, I mean that we are repeating the same thing over and over and over with and expecting different results. It's because at the slightest change, and when I say sometimes the slightest change, I mean changing from physical ticket outlets to online tickets. It's an issue. Sometimes in terms of saying, okay, you can't sing for 18 minutes straight, you need to cut it down to 10. It's an issue. Sometimes in saying you can't come with CDs, you need to email your songs. It's an issue. As King Austin said, the price of progress is high. And sometimes the price of change is high, because I will admit, the cost that you could have paid by Crosby's long time. If you don't know about Crosby's Cardo, and I had to question them gray hairs. But
It is man number.
But the cost you would have paid by Crosby's long time to put your record in the store.
Mm-hmm.
It's different to what you had to pay to buy Julian's to blast your song.
Right.
And a lot of people are looking at those changes in the way that the technology could advance the event or the music or the reach as a whole. They're looking at those things in a negative light as well.
You see, change is inevitable, right? Cliche. I could do better than that. Our tendency to resist change
is inevitable.
Is optional.
Oh, I thought it was inevitable.
No. It is optional. The people who embrace change are the people right now who have Bitcoin shares. Right? Are the people who have shares in Apple. There are people who have shares in Netflix
and Google
and Spotify and Google. And those are just technological. What I'm saying is that we have a tendency to resist what is new. But the people who don't resist what is new get ahead of the wave. It's actually a social theory of by the time you get on the wave, it's already too late.
Yeah.
And what we see is that Carnival now is living off our reputation. There are so many festivals and so many cultural events all over the world that are so much more affordable and still maintain so much more identity because they were willing to embrace the changes it would take to move your cultural traditional festival into something that could be internationally palatable and accessible and still relatable to the local consumer and the local participants. We pretty much resisting any kind of change that's going to make Carnival better in the interest of making Carnival more financially rewarded. And you're seeing a lot of the culture is suffering. People would skip Trinidad and Tobago Carnival and go to 4 and 5 different carnivals of the islands.
Probably for the same cost.
Or even that's the type of thing I'm talking about. And even looking at the Joshua's gargantuan effort the other day at making something that, Aaron, we remember some of the pushback that Joshua got for the way he was presenting Pan, for the things that he was doing with it as a solo artist. And now, because he gets through, he has the support, right? Now we're seeing the Moko Jumbies going to attempt another world record. Right? And now having seen somebody, there was an attempt, I'm not so sure of what fell through, but even in terms of someone being willing to try again, it has afforded the culture, another element of the culture to get, a foot ahead, a step ahead, because we didn't ridicule and fight down an effort. Somebody tried again, and because somebody's willing to try, they learn a little more. Because they learn a little more, it was easier for who was coming next. If we look at the way Trinidad and Tobago generally deals with new ideas and endeavors and artists and songs and parties, we wait for it to bust and then bill it.
And sometimes it's not even just waiting for it to bust. We just wait for it to dance abroad before it dance yard. And I think that those kind of things are some of the biggest issues that we face, because I don't know why we tend to only recognize persons and things when they are prominent abroad. So, and I don't want to use just as the example because people will say that I have a bias there. Right?
Boss, you are the same bias for Joshua that you have to Kenny,
No, brother. I have no bias there. Anyway, but look at it this way, even with some of the music, right? Mm-hmm. For the average carnival, at least 1,000 songs are released.
That's a very conservative figure.
Yeah. At least 1,500 then. Because I think because it has rhythms too, so that is flex, right? So at least 1,500 songs are released, but yet still we hear the same 30 on rotation or 40. Let me be modest, 25. And Marshall probably had 12 of them.
Remember, Marshall is the man that dropped 3 albums in the same year.
And Marshall was also the only soca artist featured on the NPR Tiny Desk series. I don't know if anybody was able to check that out. It released yesterday. Just had to ease that into the conversation as well, right? But what I'm saying is, but then again, during the year, when you go a carnival up the islands, you might hear a song being played more there than it was at home by artists from Trinidad. And that's because they appreciate the style of that song, or it fuses into what their version of soca is, the banyan, or the zouk, or the jab.
And you know why? Because external carnivals generally have a greater variety of consumer.
Correct is right.
Right, so you're not going to get away with just running power and groovy. And power and groovy sung by the same 6 and 7 artists for the entire season. Because now you have different islanders in a collective space demanding a degree of representation within the carnival that's being presented. Right, so when you go to New York and you hear a carnival, that carnival going to not just be trainees who only want to hear Marshall. Right, there's Bajans, there's Grenadians, there's St. Lucians, Kitchens.
They want to hear a Mr. Killer, or they want to hear Trilla G, or they want to hear, I can't remember anyway from St. Kitts right now off the top of my head, but they want to hear their music fused in with what would have been made popular to them. Sorry about that. And I also tend to look at it this way, that I think we as Trinidadians need to do a better job at marketing the masses of the music. Because if now, and there's something I previously had an issue with, and I over the time, my time of being on WAC and my time in general, it comes across to me that we need to request what we want to hear more.
As a DJ here, do DJs play what is requested?
No, for me, I no, and wow, I get on the spot here, and I'm glad for this kind of talk. I like this kind of talks. For me, I try my best to. So, for example, when I was on air on a Friday, the last Friday of every month was the Skinner Park segment, for example, where I would let you call in and request your Kaiso. And you used to get a lot of calls. Sometimes I'm able to play all the requests in the hour span. And there are other times when, if the vibe's nice, I might stretch it to 2 hours. So I will try to do the requests.
But I don't take it sometimes.
No, I answer the question, Cardo. But what I'm saying is, sometimes the requests are too much for the time frame allowed.
Do you think, as a DJ, that your environment is typical or atypical?
My environment is atypical, and I'm not hiding that in any way, form, or fashion. One, because I don't fight for the mainstream jobs. So you will faster hear me playing in a backyard line or a wedding than in a party. And the reason why I like those jobs is because it allows me to play the music which I know that people call and request, or the music that I know is good, what I would class as good music.
So we could safely say that when you show up to work, they don't hand you a list and tell you, this is what your next 3 hours is going to look like.
No.
Do you think that is, well, you admitted yourself that you work in an atypical space.
Yeah.
Generally.
You'd have a clock.
do DJs have that freedom to choose what their playlist is going to be for the shifts or for the events?
Can I answer for the shifts part separately to the events?
I hope so.
Right? To the shifts, I saw a very prominent post last week on social media. He goes by the name of Sonny Bling. Mm-hmm. And he spoke to the tune that if you are to cycle through the radio stations, the top radio stations in Trinidad and Tobago, according to surveys, you would be hearing the same 40 songs over and over. Right? There are reasons for that, some of which I cannot discuss because I don't know the inner workings of those stations.
Okay, cool, nice. Fair.
Right? But for events, honestly, I think because of social media and attention spans and all these different things, we have lost the essence of what we go to parties for. Or fetes, like just say fetes, what we go to fetes for. Long time, a fete would build and crescendo. Then plateau, and then they bring it back down to end. Or if you have a headline act, you go up a next level, right? Now, everybody expects that the fete stays at this level. Sorry, I'm gonna drop my hand so people who are watching on WAC.tv and YouTube could see. At a stay the same constant level throughout, and it's impossible to maintain that. Because, let's face it, not everybody could fete hard for 8 hours straight.
Right.
Or not everybody could lime hard for 8 hours straight. You need to have the ebbs and peaks, just like how we spoke earlier about if you realize you get on the trend on the way down, you're in it too late. If you decide to walk in a party at 4 o'clock when it starts, you can't expect the same vibes. The vibes can't start up there. You had a billet to that. But now, because of social media, because everybody wants to be a star, everybody wants to be up there. As the old people just say, not the old people, sorry, as Brother Valentino said, life is a stage and we are the actors. Everybody has a part to play. So if you are the first DJ at an event, that's your role. You groove it in. The DJ who come on at 8 o'clock, the man who come on at 4, not supposed to be playing the same songs the man at 8 come on and play. The set cannot be similar. So the same 25 songs cannot be on rotation. We have had soca music and Calypso music since 1948 come forward. That was the year of our first road march with King Radio. Why do we...
telling me it's already 52, 77 years, going on 78 years of music. Why, and we're talking about, let's not even talk about the 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus songs that might be written and released. Right? And if I remember correctly, an esteemed guest pointed out that it was a considerably higher number a much longer time ago. If we look at let me say hundreds of songs that in rotation, right? We're not talking about the top 40. We're not even talking about, let me say the top 100 songs. Let me say the top 100 songs, the decent songs that, on certain stations, they get a play on certain spaces. If you see the artist, you might see the name pop up on a couple flyers. If you look at the top 100 songs here of these 77 years, you telling me we have thousands of songs to choose from to get you through the 6 to 8 hour party? You have no reason you're supposed to be hearing the same 15 to 20 songs every hour on the hour for the entirety of that event.
Correct, right?
You literally have 7,500 plus songs or more to choose from.
I honestly think, let me actually check something. I'm glad on my laptop that I could check this, right?
Oh, you see. You don't have a VPN up on it.
No, I'm a VPN, right? Wow, that's
incognito on.
No, come on, man. That is all something off there, boy.
What's that?
I was actually gonna check like in my soca library that I have, right, of all these songs, how much it is. Like how much songs it is that I have now. And I only have soca from, like, say, 1990 to 2025, no, 2024 in one folder.
Yeah, 34 years of soca.
Right? I have here 18,358 songs.
You see what is that telling you? No, let me do the math here. 35 years, 18,000 songs. You have almost 200 songs per year.
Just now, wait, oh gosh, you're real quick, boy. I just go 18,000 divided by 35. That's 500 songs a year, thereabout.
What am I telling me here?
Yeah, 18,000 divided by 35.
18,000 divided by 35 is 500. Yeah, that's 0.5, but just half. Yeah, sorry, I doubled when I was supposed to half and then add the 0. Yeah.
That's what you did. Yeah. I keep it copacetic.
Yeah, so what you're telling me is you have thousands of songs to choose from, hundreds of songs per year. And this is our loose average. This is only for the past 30, 35 years of music.
Yeah. And that's just soca.
Absurd.
I ain't talking Kaiso and things like that.
It is absurd that you would go to 3 fets in the same day and see the exact same roster of artists in every fet and the same roster of DJs, give or take 1 or 2 who switch out, playing the same sets.
And you know, this I think for this Carnival season, or this season, it's 2 things my personal mission is. One, and I think next week we might start with it, there are a lot of young artists out there who are looking for platforms to, I'm not saying perform the music, because we is not a live performance show, but there are a lot of artists looking for avenues to tell their story. And I think ever so often we could try to feature 1 or 2 of these artists on the show. And next week, I know Carlo had we wanted to start off with a specific guest.
Hey, let me hit him on a call. Yes.
Right, but next week I have a young lady more than likely that's gonna come on the show. During the pandemic, I would have met her, and she came on singing covers with Kenny on the Up Close and Personal series, and I got an email with 2 tracks from her for this Carnival season. And then in delving further, she started singing with one of the bands as well, one of the prominent bands. So I think it's time that we always talk of sharing our platform. So we could start with her, and then throughout the year, we also open it up to the persons who are singing, not our headline genres, which are soca and calypso.
Yeah, I want to definitely delve into some more local music.
Yeah.
More different genres, yeah.
Because I know a group that was making some headway to the end of last year is Pootie and the Saltfish. I always we could get into them. I also have a partner. He's big on the local rock scene as well. So that's Gerard. Right? So that's the thing. There are
who Gerard?
Ferrer.
Gerard Ferrer is your partner?
Yeah, you can say so.
Yeah. Well, the way you talk as if I don't know Gerard. You know Gerard?
Brother man, you don't know everybody I know, right?
I know I don't know everybody, you know. I don't have enough social space for that.
Neither me anymore.
He's a hot boy out here now.
Neither me anymore. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how these things just naturally come into the conversation. But also, guys, the entertainment, people in entertainment, people who work a lot during Carnival season, or people in the entertainment industry, the cameramen, stuff, people like that, sensory overload is a real thing, huh? Sensory overload is a real thing. On Saturday night, I had a job up in Trin City, and I had people in the car with me coming back down the road. Usually after a job, I drive home in silence. To help ease the overload which I would have just experienced. Because for those of you who wouldn't know, sitting in front of a camera for 14 hours, like what more than likely we are going to do on Saturday, for small band semi-finals at Victoria Square, right? Or going and play music in front of a crowd period, doesn't matter the size. Yeah. And the lights and the noise, it is a lot for some people.
And the movement and it's
right?
A lot.
If your favorite soca artist or your favorite DJ or whoever it may be, after a performance, just and a wadi picture, no problem, but just get them a couple minutes after they come off stage now. Let them come. Let them come down.
I photo rushed Bungie too quickly after a performance in Black to Blue a couple of years ago. And in hindsight, you had to let a man breathe, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we had matching mohawks, but...
Honestly, I would like a picture with Bungie, because somebody that they tell Mark, I have a Bungie finish.
Yeah, whoever that is, don't let them sell you nothing.
Yeah, because they sell Madrid. But really and truly, guys, all I'm saying is, we need to be a little more compassionate towards our entertainers, the persons in the field. They are human too.
Yeah, so just how we go and do our Facebook rant about how this one costs on you after you spend your money to see them and
So just how we started off the program talking about that, we need to be kinder and we could disagree respectfully. Respect person's space as well.
If I spend my money waiting about space, I want a picture.
No, you could get your picture, but give me a couple minutes after I done perform.
Yeah.
I know in the real world it's more difficult to practice that. But all I'm asking is because we had to ask, we had to teach the people. Because just like how we just spoke about evolving the brand and evolving the product, that is Carnival, or evolving our music, we also need to evolve the way in which we think about the persons in that space. You feel if like just say Cardo, me and you, we are relatively well-known people, not just in the entertainment sphere, but in life. We are reasonably well-known people.
Man, nobody know me either.
You have room for Facebook friends still?
Yes. I only have like 13 or 1400 Facebook friends.
Oh, you're well cut down there. I know you man had about 4,000 some years ago.
No, sir. Not even the peak of my relative familiarity.
Okay. Well, cool. So I just using us as the example, right? And let's just say we happen to be walking the streets of Sando, going and get something to eat by a bakery. They call it a beef pie.
Yeah, now that you put in some context to this situation, I will admit that I might get hailed out by a person or two higher than the average GDP of hail-outs.
Right?
Per capita hail-out.
Wow. Right? So, but what I'm trying to say is, after a few hail-outs, you just be like, wait, I could just walk and get my beef pie and pizza.
I'm glad that you bring this to the people's attention. I was in a supermarket the other day, right? And the cashier and the bad boys and them started to get excited. It's like, hey, there's a cricketer. So I went and I do a little sneak peek in the next lane, and lo and behold, Dinesh Ramdin cash in. And I'm like, I want to go and be like, hey, if you respect your work, thanks for everything that you do for us, big West Indies fan, right? Maybe get a picture, I don't know. And then it kind of hit me. John, this man is in the grocery with his family.
And you fanboying.
And this man is literally just trying to get some juice and some snacks and whatever, right? And this man is he's a human being in a grocery with his family.
And you gone for yeah.
And I didn't bother. Now, I would have loved to express my gratitude for all that he has done as an athlete contributing to the West Indies cricket team, and in a very tough time. He's not on the clock. He's not on a tour. He's literally just a human being picking up snacks for his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't bother. And it's because I kind of want to start to respect. I want to start to respect people's boundaries, even the unspoken ones. It's not like we bounce them up in our party, linemen or something like that. Going to the grocery is not a specifically social activity.
How do you respect an unspoken boundary, though?
Some mindfulness, as far as I'm concerned. Some consideration.
And
it's really just a case of put yourself as best as possible in the other person's shoes and taking into account the possibility that they would not they're not guaranteed to respond to a situation like I would.
So basically, you are asking persons to exercise some level of empathy.
Hey, you have to put it out there. Where we had at least tried.
Right, and I see, and I don't know how. For those of you who have been listening to this program for a long period of time, and those of you who are now coming on, when Ricardo and I have guests, we just plan out talks, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's Ricardo and I alone, it's just organic conversation.
Yeah, we allow it to meander and settle at its own level.
But for some reason, it always comes down or comes back to our core principles of mental health,
mm-hmm.
of culture,
mm-hmm.
and of like showing healthy male affection, having constructive conversations, and those kinds of, it always comes back down to that.
Taking personal responsibility while still holding, things systemically accountable. But the bottom line here is creating positive content and impact
in a bacchanal environment. Right? And the two of us are not averse to a bit of bacchanalia. We have our peacock between us.
Hey, listen, but people only know. Again, we also been respectful of the broadcast license, eh?
Yeah, we have to.
And but don't get tired. It could get wild.
Yeah, it could. And the catch in it is like, I don't know how else to say this part, but I think I just have to say it. As human beings, we need to restore a level of respect amongst ourselves. One of the movies I enjoy watching is 2012. And they say that one of the quotes that stuck with me, is that the day we stop caring for our fellow man is the day that humanity begins to die.
That's where you stole your line from.
What's that?
That the day we stop learning is the day we begin to.
That was long before that movie. Long before that movie. I think it was
okay.
An old man in St. Martin told me that one.
It's a wise man.
Yeah, well-raised fella, right? But we need to restore some level of care and concern for fellow man. Over this weekend, while putting out my garbage, I saw a young boy, he was probably no older than 9, riding his bike along the street. And I greeted him by saying, "Good morning, sir." Because as I've established before, I try to maintain a level of respect for everybody. So, sir or ma'am, right? And the young boy turned and watched me and he said, "I no, sir. You could just tell me morning, no." I was like, "No, I'm greeting you as a title. Good morning, sir." And then we engaged in conversation for a few minutes where I tried to explain to him that the sir is not a mark of saying you're old. Because that was his big issue with sir. because he calls his teacher in school, who is probably in his 60s,
Is not sir.
Is not
Or
sir.
his teacher could be in his 30s, right? As far as they're concerned.
No, he said 60s.
You're old.
No, he said 60s. But
Yeah,
I understand. To every child under the age of
37.
And yeah, boy, right? But what I'm saying is, I tried to explain to him that the sir was a mark of respect and not an indication of age. Then he went on to tell me that after he expressed that he understood, he went on to tell me that very few people would stand and talk to him. I was going to sit and talk to him and explain to him the way that I did, why I did what I did. Everybody would now come at him and say, hey, this is what you have to do. And I took the time to stand with him and explain to him. Mind you, the sun was a little hot.
Right.
But that's the thing.
We'll try on a gauge for temperature.
But I don't understand. I am sweating in this heat and this man is there normal riding this bike up and down the road. And then at the end of the convo, he said, thank you, sir. I felt old at first, judging based on what he explained to me, what sir meant to him. But then he went on to say after that, I'm not saying you're old, but now I have gained a new level of respect for you.
This youth man have a very sophisticated way of conversating here, and you're sure you're not paraphrasing what the youth man was saying.
Some things, yeah, because it didn't come across so clean in communication. And I also cannot speak like how he spoke.
I know, but that's if anybody else could have seen this little boy, or if you know you, like, he's not a figment of your imagination.
No, he's not a figment of my imagination.
Talking to an inner child or anything.
No, the next time that I invite you over, I'm 100% sure he'll be outside riding bike again.
That is a much higher level of certainty than there would be that I get any of the things that you invite me over for, because you invited me over to your house for pastel and punch a creme.
And it had neither.
I have seen neither. So as far as I'm concerned, that little boy is that little boy might be a myth.
Right, but all I'm saying is take the time to talk to people around you and explain things. Don't just tell them, I expect this. Nah. Don't do that. Take the time.
It's so weird though.
Right here now, children, you have a 5-year-old child ever break your break here? And when I say break it, tell you something that'll be like, they just make you question why I even here, why I'm doing this.
It's a very healthy experience to have. I know one definitely hit me in my head with a bottle of cologne while I was sleeping. What are you gonna do? Yeah,
that is not abuse.
No, they hit me.
But still, that's not abuse.
Yeah, I was in church Sunday morning, and there were some kids there, and me being a very interesting looking character, they gravitated towards me and started asking things and talking, and I'm like, what are all these people in this room? Not like the room was filled with people, but I'm like, these children are speaking to me, so I'm speaking to the children, and then I'm like, be mindful not to talk down to them because they are children. Right? I've always said it that we're not raising children out here, we're raising adults. Right? So it was just a reminder to engage them meaningfully. So I appreciate what it is you did with the young man in terms of pointing out to him that his experience, while valid, was not the limit. That, because you're right, a lot of people just tell children how it have to be, how it's supposed to be, what is expected of them, and a lot of the times they expect of them without teaching them what it is.
That is right.
So I appreciate you for that.
And also, we can't just extend that to children alone. Eh? Extend that to your peers.
And your partners.
And your partner.
No, not your partners, your partners. your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse.
I want to go and say, because now going to extend it to your brethren and also to your partners. Right? Because one of the, I know we getting perilously close to Kaiso with Mr. Desmond.
Yeah, probably perilous.
Right? But what I'm saying is, one of the key reasons why Ricardo and I have developed this level of friendship, which we have today, is because we are respectful of each other.
Mostly.
Yeah, most times. Because again,
no respect for that football team. Yes, but
same.
I don't understand how it could be post-colonial and England is your side. Come out from there.
But you support in Spain.
Ricardo is French.
You support it. So Spain had nothing to do with colonialism.
Hold on, big man. Hold on. Okay, one, if you really want to go down that road, only more colonially, you have had a greater colonial impact than Spain. Right? With the jail. Let me put it this way. It's not like people out here playing whatever they just play in Spain. I don't know what they just play in Spain, but all over the world people playing cricket. Right? Anyway.
So people don't play football all over the world.
Yeah, but by choice.
So we play cricket by force?
Yes. Iran. Yes. Cricket is an export of colonialism.
We will save that for our next conversation.
Cricket is an export of colonialism.
We'll save that for our next sport. You read any book yet?
Soccer is not an export of colonialism. You see how much trouble I get into say colonialism and colonize? Clearly not.
You read any book yet?
No, not yet. I read like the
preface?
First page.
Wow, you're at like yeah, 3 pages less than me then.
But anyway, all I'm saying is we both very, very, very busy and productive, and maybe we could intentionally dedicate more time to read it.
Yeah, actually, want to try to read some more, but I have a lot going on, as anybody would know. Guys, this has been the Living Room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time the culture is my code. And Mr. Desmond is up next with Kaiso. We could end with a song?
Yeah, we should.
We should. I want to end with a Kaiso. I think for the season, everybody running only soca. I go and start to play more Kaiso. And since I talk about playing more Kaiso, we're going to be staying in Calypso. That is one coming down from Queen Voice.
Nice one.
Yeah.
This is Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains. So whatever you're doing, be good, stay safe, and talk to the children. Don't talk down to them.
Yeah. And don't use styrofoam.
Yeah. Don't use styrofoam. And we did pretty well staying out of politics this week, Aaron.
We needed to.
Especially considering. Anyway.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Staying out of that. I just staying out of that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the debate as to whether or not to extend the SOE. Let's put this. Stay safe. Regardless. Stay safe whether or not it has accomplished its objective. Stay safe whether or not anything actually changed. You stay safe and do your best to contribute to a healthier environment for all of us. It's not like we don't know what the right thing is.
Yeah, I saw a tweet as you say that, and they were talking about the SOE and the people having issues with it. If you know you're doing the right thing, the SOE won't affect you.
We'll definitely talk about that next week because that is incorrect.
All right.
That's a hard incorrect.
All right, Mr. Desmond, take it over.
Kaiso.
Hey! In any party
that you could find. One thing on the people's mind. Entertainment. You can't get in the pet cram. People rocking to the soca jam. Entertainment. So why you asking me why I sing in Calypso? When the money is in the fence, you love will live a life of regret. And there is so much to consider in a Kaiso show. Bringing lyrics to inform and educate, and stories to which the audience can relate. You got to have love for Calypso to stay in the art, and there are criteria that set Calypso apart. Number one, the topic that you're singing on. Number two, you got to bring your lyrics strong. Number three, you got to watch your rendition. Number four, your key of orchestration. Number five, the stage presentation. And on top of all that, still you ain't done. You ain't done. You ain't done. But soca, not under that strain. Their main aim is to entertain. You cannot beat them in their domain. Oh no. But don't care what soca give away. Their enticement can't get me to strain. Calypso is here, I would say. Hey. Soon as foreigners hit, we show what the locals catering for. Entertainment. Friends come from the USA. Soon as they land, you hear them say entertainment. They're not interested in hearing about we issues, about the struggles and all we grief. Have to come down here for relief. Sad songs make them cry and have them using tissues, but soca make them forget all of their cares. And their party experiences they remember for years. But dealing with Mr. Kaiso, he is of a different kind. And there are so many things we should bear in mind. Hey, number one, the topic that you're singing on. Number two, you got to bring your lyrics strong. Number three, you got to watch your rendition. Number four, your key of orchestration. Number five, the stage presentation. And on top of all that, still you ain't done. You ain't done. You ain't done. But soca, not under that strain. Their main aim is to entertain and it's party again and again. Oh oh, but don't care what. Their enticement in Calypso is here, I would say, right here. Pam 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 pam. You want Kaiso to take the front? Well, give the people what the people want. Entertainment. You want Kaiso to top the chart, squeeze inside the Calypso art. Entertainment. The days for singing sparrow slave are rarely over. He said forget me history and effects of slavery. Everybody now looking for a quick turnover. He says intent is not to be mean, but a change in time calls for a change in scene. But I know when singing Calypso, we must have the tools and show that we have embraced all the rules. Hey, number one, the topic that you're singing on. Number two, you got to bring your lyrics strong. Number three, you got to watch your rendition. Number four, your key of orchestration. Number five, the stage presentation. And on top of all that, still you ain't done. You ain't done. You think you're done? But soca, not under that strain. Their main aim is to entertain. They don't sing about with sorrow or pain. No, no. But don't care what. Their enticement in Calypso is here, I would say. also one for Carnival. Admit the crime and the bacchanal. Entertainment. But in Calypso legacy, that was never priority. Entertainment. Now folks telling Kaisonians we do not need ya. We just pick up and flip the phone and find out things on we own. This is the era of AI and social media. They make me feel like Kaiso losing its place. And the youth searching for something else to embrace. But if we expose the youth to Calypso, it will never die. And they'll understand how all these rules apply. Number one, the topic that you're singing on. Number two, you got to bring your lyrics strong. Number three, you got to watch your rendition. Number four, your key of orchestration. Number five, the stage presentation. And on top of all that, still you ain't done. You ain't done, you think you're done? But soca, their main name is to entertain. And they make sure they stay in the lane. Right there. But don't care what their enticement in Calypso is here, I would say, right here.